Look, if you were a robber and you just pinched 4 billion, wouldn't you make a run for it? But these idiots aren't running, they're meeting up every single day. It turns out they have a handler, keeping them around to tie up loose ends while waiting for one massive opportunity. But this is causing friction. Morgan feels that if they wait any longer, the whole lot of them will be silenced. Their hands are tied, no one has seen a penny of the money yet. And 4 billion is no small change. It's enough to make them gamble their lives for a few more days. Meanwhile, Kovac has pulled Zara out of Mifiv's clutches. He proposes an alliance. Mifiv is clearly blocking Kovac's investigation, and he can't count on the force. He's on his own. One wrong move now and he's finished. Debts would surface, he'd lose his badge, and he'd end up as the ultimate scapegoat. He tells Zara that Mifiv is after him because of the critical intel he holds, and their methods of interrogation are brutal. But if those robbers are put behind bars, Zara's information becomes worthless to Mifiv. In the end, Zara might even walk away clean. After all, he's just a small fish in this pond. This is undoubtedly his best shot at survival.
No.
And there's way too many things that could go wrong. No. Sorry. This has got nope written all over it.
Henan. Yunxi, take your chances on your own. I'll drop you back to your flat. My files will still be there. So, you can tell them you thought it was while they load you into the back of a van with a hood over your head.
Who sent for you?
If I catch the people who did this, my investigation hasn't failed.
Fine, so you're just using me. You're just as bad as the rest of them.
You need to find those armed robbers before they kill you, right? I'm in armed robbery. So maybe it makes you feel bad that you're using me. Zara hesitates, but ultimately chooses to cooperate with Kovac for now.
He first mentions the location of the robbers' hideout, but when the two return to investigate in secret, the place has already been cleared out. Furthermore, the premises were leased by a shell company, and the trail goes cold once again. Zara hands Kovac the key fingerprints she secretly lifted, asking him to investigate them off the record. At this point, Kovac identifies the key to breaking the case. How did 4 billion suddenly appear in the company accounts out of thin air? Someone is clearly pulling the strings, but he cannot use official channels, as any suspicious move would immediately alert Mifiv. With no other choice, he tasks Zara with returning to the company to investigate from within. Meanwhile, the robbers are on edge because of Zara's intrusion into their stronghold, leaving them in a panic.
Does anyone want to tell me how she got hold of it? Fuck off, you know what's strange about the reload? You left a vial there with your fingerprints on it. She knows the office address. If she knows about that, what else does she know back at the company, Zara?
On the pretext of needing rest after the robbery, she cleverly secured a private office for herself. This spot was not only ideal for her secret investigation, but more importantly, it put her right next to the secretary. She knew well that all major decisions were made by the investment committee, and the minutes of meetings were kept by the secretary. Finally, sighting the moment the secretary stepped away, he managed to find those crucial meeting records. The records revealed that the investment committee had voted to pass a resolution to liquidate all overseas investments and transfer the cash into company accounts, and the catalyst for all this was a single risk assessment report. The entire process seemed airtight, but what if that pivotal risk report had been forged from the very beginning? Following this lead, all fingers pointed toward Kate, Mello, and Lena. Though Lena had already fled the country. With Lena gone, Zara felt that Mello simply didn't have the brains for such a scheme. This left Kate, the team leader, as the prime suspect, as every risk report had to pass through her hands. Meanwhile, Kovac's own life was hitting a breaking point, with the countdown on his debt crisis already underway. He tried to pull strings for a loan, but due to his poor standing, he was rejected outright. With nowhere left to turn, he pinned his hopes on Zara. One day after they finished discussing the case, he took Zara to one of his regular haunts, a place teeming with gamblers and secrets. The alcohol loosened their tongues, letting their guards down. Kovac openly confessed to his gambling habit, while Zara admitted she had always lived without dreams or goals. Influenced by her mother, she was used to drifting with the tide. Her current job was only meant to be a temporary stop, never imagining she'd be caught up in something so monumental. This was likely the most reckless gamble of his life. At this point, Kovac asks why Zara ever agreed to be an accomplice. Was it just for the money?
I did it for that shut up Luke Summer, you dickhead. Because he offered me 100 grand. They never paid me anyway. Oh, I did it all for nothing. You'd considering how much they stole. They could have paid you something. 4 billion should cover that. If you want 100 grand, then sure.
Zara knew in her heart that it was about more than just money. As night fell, the mixture of alcohol, stress, and latent feelings began to intertwine. The two lonely souls decided to stop suppressing their emotions. The next morning, a message shattered the silence. Kovac received a notification on his phone. The fingerprint Zara gave him finally yielded a match. It turned out Kovac had acted outside protocol. He asked a friend to use a bulk data cross-check as cover. That's how he managed to slip the fingerprint into the system. He handed the phone to Zara, letting her see the killer's identity for herself. Soon a familiar face flashed onto the screen. One of the robbers had finally been unmasked. Later, while Zara was having lunch at a restaurant, a strange man sat down directly across from her.
The man, sitting to your right, has a syringe. In his left hand, the syringe is filled with a toxin that will leave you out dead in 10 minutes to a coroner. It would look like one of those cases you've heard about. Zara froze in terror.
She immediately guessed he was from Mi-5 under the silent threat. She had no choice but to follow him to a car. She felt the cold barrel of a pistol pressed firmly against her.